Hi everyone, it's Carol from Carol's Creative Corner. How are you doing today? I hope you've had a good week. This is a series number three, in using the Memories and More card pack. Today we're going to be using the Magenta Madness cardstock that comes out of the Memories, Flowers for Every Season, Memories and More cards and envelopes. And we're going to use the new jar of flowers to make a card. So let me switch over to my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so here we are. Got a lot of product here. Let me show you what we're going to make in today's project. So this is using the lovely jar of flowers set. It is a stamp set that has a punch for punching out the jar. So you just stamp it and then punch it out, and that's what we did here, and we'll be going through that as we put the card together. And then here is the beautiful stamp set. So for this card, we used the tulips, and we used this little bit of stems. And as you can see, there are other jar images that you can use, the jar top. You can also use this where it shows like the water's half full, and then you can use this stamp to like color it in. And you can also use this stamp to color this jar in. And so you can choose between these tulips and the sunflowers and these roses. And I've seen this used as a straw, like one of those mason jar drinking glasses. So it's a lovely set. I just have to show you because I can't wait to play with these. These are in the annual catalog as well, and these are to make shakers out of the jar. So you punch out an image of the jar, and then you lay this behind it so it's popping up, and fill it with sprinkles. So I think that's going to be fun too, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I'm looking forward to using those. So for today, these are the products we're going to use. We're also going to use the In Color paper. It has several designs. As you can see, I've been using this quite a bit. And actually, this is 2 packs put together. But it has a bunch of designs in the different colors for the new In Colors, which of course I love. Bumblebee there, and apple cinnamon cider, and all these other pretty colors, wood grains. So we are going to use this pattern, this Magenta Madness polka dots for this card today. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, I am going to tell you that I am not going to be coloring on today's video, just from a time perspective. So I wanted to just share with you how I did this. And remember, if you need to see any of the directions or the dimensions of everything, they're all on my website. You go to the menu bar at the top when you go to my website, and you choose blog. And under blog is Project Library, and where it shows pictures of all the blogs that I've done. And one of them, you'll see this picture. And so just click on that and you'll get all the directions you need to put this card together and all the colors I use. So if I miss saying it, or you want to know some other details, just go to my website and everything will be on there. So for this particular piece, I stamped it in Memento, and then I used our blends. This is Magenta Madness, and this is Calypso Coral. This is Pool Party, and this is Just Jade. So, and then I just fussy cut around it. So that will be one step in your project, is a little bit of fussy cutting because there are no dies for this, but just go around, leave a little bit of edge, and no need to be perfect. It'll come out just beautiful. So that piece, that's how that piece was done. What I am going to show you, though, is how the jar was done. So we're going to stamp the jar on a piece of Pool Party. And I want you to notice that my jar has no hash marks in it. And you see that the image here does have hash marks. So I was brave. I was very brave. And I don't care for the hash marks as much. So I actually cut out my hash marks out of my jar. And if I want them in my jar, I can just put them back, on the block with the jar, and I'll have my hash marks. So in this particular card, I did not use these hash marks. Now, if you're leery of cutting your polymer stamps, which I understand, then the other way that you could do it where you have no hash marks on your jar is to go over it with one of your Stampin' Write markers and then stamp on your paper. And that way you don't get any of the hash marks. If you like the hash marks, well, then go ahead and stamp away. So I just wanted to show you how I ended up doing that. So I'm just going to go stamp up my jar, and let's see, I'll put it right here on the edge. And the other, oops, I didn't like that image, so I'm going to ink it a little bit better. That's what I love. I love that I get 2 chances with every sheet of paper. There you go. There's a nice image. And then I'm also going, before I punch out, I'm going to stamp my stems, and I stamp them right at the top, right at the very top. Okay, so now I've got my stems and my jar. And so next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be punching it out with my punch, with the punch. And so I'll just insert it in this way and give it the old puncharoo. All right, center it and pop. All right, so now my jar is cut out. I did use Just Jade to color in the stems, so I will do that quickly for you because the next step I wanted to show you. I'm going to use the dark Just Jade on this, so I'm just going to do a quick, with my brush tip, just going to quickly outline these branches, and you don't have to be perfect because no one is going to pay attention because they just look like stems in a jar. No one is going to look at that. They're going to see the card and they won't really pay attention to how you colored. So that's what's nice about this. Pretty forgiving. Okay, so I've got that done. Now, what I like to do is I like to make the jar look like it's actually a glass jar. So I took a piece of window acetate. Let's see if I can, I don't know if you can see that. See, I just punched out of window acetate window sheets. They're in the annual catalog, and I just punched out a jar. And so before I put this together, I'm going to take 2 glue dots and I'm going to adhere it to the front of this punch. And so, you know, at certain angles, you can see that your jar actually looks like it's glass. So I'm just going to put that on the front there. And that's all you need to adhere it. You don't need anything more, just 2 glue dots. And I don't know if you can tell, yeah, you can get a little shimmer of light. And so I love that look on this card. And so that's what we're doing here. And let's see, then we want to put a ribbon around our jar. So I use the new Pool Party Shimmer Organdy ribbon. Isn't that gorgeous? So I put that all the way around. And then I put glue dots on the back. I should say glue dots. They're dimensionals. I put dimensionals because this is actually going to be raised up on your card. I don't know if you can tell, but they're going to be raised up on your card. And then the label here is going to be flat against your card. So now we've got our jar done and we've got our flower. So we're going to set that aside because we're going to put that on actually last. So the next piece that we're going to do is we're going to do this label, this white label. And I wanted to show you how I did that. I wanted the words "Enjoy Today." But the tag, and I love this tag. I loved how soft and curvy the tag was. And so it needed a little something to, I don't know, to get added to it so it didn't look like the words were just floating in a bunch of white space. So I found an accent piece in the Meant to Be stamp set. You can use any accent you want, but I wanted to show you how I ended up getting these aligned so that it came out straight each and every time. I've made more than one of these cards. So I pull out the handy dandy little Stamparatus. And as you can see, I already got the accent piece and the Enjoy Today all ready to be lined up to stamp. So I made a template for the label. I just cut it out of a piece of white paper. So this is my template. I know where to lay my label so that it stamps the first, the accent piece and then the words. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Okay, so now what I want to show you is how I got the second accent piece. So I had already lined it up and I knew that I wanted to do the bottom part with the accent piece. So it didn't fit exactly because this, as you can see, this is a little off to the left of where I really wanted it to be. So I figured out where it would be. I just drew where my label should fit. So I just drew a little mark where to line up my label. I took off the Enjoy Today, and then I just stamped. So when I had to do several of these cards, like let's say 10 of these cards, I would do the first 2 pieces first, and then I would save this last piece and then run them through this Stamparatus process. And then you have this beautifully lined up tag, and it fills that beautiful space with additional flowers and loveliness. So I was really happy with that. And so give that a try on your Stamparatus for lining up your words and your accent pieces so that they're always straight. I need the Stamparatus. I can stamp crooked quite a few times, but to put 3 things on there at one time and then have them all line up straight, that was definitely, I knew for me that was going to be a challenge. So then the next thing I did was I did add a little color to the tag. I used Marvelous Magenta, I used Just Jade, and I used the Calypso Coral. So I just colored that in just a little bit to add color. And now we have all the pieces we need, except this piece. I did get this additional piece, and this is from one of my favorite label sets, and that's called Tasteful Labels, and that's new in the annual catalog, and I absolutely love the way they fit together. So we have all our pieces to assemble our card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to this pool party label, and then we can put the rest of the card together. So let's see, we've got this, and we're going to line it up. Let's see, it'd be easier to do it this way, top to bottom. Takes me a minute. Make sure it's even. There we go. And we've got our cardstock. We're ready to make our card. So we lay that out. Now I did cut a piece of that in color paper, and I didn't need it to cover the full sheet because the vase and the flowers do most of the work on the left side of the card. So we only need a little piece. And you know, when you get 6 by 6 pieces of Designer Series paper, I always find that I have a lot left over. So I want to give a little edge. I want to do evenly on 3 edges around this dot that's already, these dots that are already built into the Memories and More cards. Aren't they beautiful? And this card definitely takes advantage of that. So now we put our cardstock on. We're ready to adhere our label. Did not use any dimensionals on this, just laid it flat because we are going to raise up the flowers. Now you'll notice I gave it a lot of room. I'm almost to the edge, but not quite, and I'm going to center it. And there we go. So now we've got our jar, which has already been prepped, and we can go ahead and add that to our card. I like to add the flowers last so that they line up with the jar nicely. So let's see here. So we're going to put this right about here. I don't want to cover up the words, but I am going to cover up this side of the polka dots, which I love sometimes when it's off, you don't see all of the dots. And now this one, we are ready to put on as well. I just have to grab some dimensionals, and then we'll be ready. Dimensionals. Let's see, I guess we'll use the black ones because they're handy. Even though I would most likely prefer white. Oh, here they are. Okay, I found them. All right, so we're going to just put a few dimensionals onto the back of the flowers as such, and take off the backings. Have you ever done it where you forget the backings, put it on, and then wonder why it doesn't stick? I've done it several times. Okay, and so I'm just going to tuck this white piece part underneath the jar so it does look like the flowers are coming out of the jar. And I'm going to try and put them also so that the flowers are not overhanging this side, so they'll fit in the envelope. So that's how that card went together. And of course it has these beautiful envelopes to go with it. So what a nice card to give your favorite person. And of course you can put anything that you want on your card. So that's what I had to show you today. I hope you like this project. I hope you like the card. Isn't it bright and cheery? So stay tuned for next week. or in a couple days, I will show you the 2 remaining colors. We have new products to show. I have new products to show, and I'll be using the Bumblebee and the Just Jade, and a couple new sets from the annual catalog. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I thank you again for watching my videos. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye. Have a great day.